Make a date with Reverend Dr. Ebenezer Markwei at 6 a.m. from Monday to Saturday on Graphic Online, via Facebook and YouTube as he expounds on matters of faith. Graphic Online, truth and accuracy every day.
Hello, this is Reverend Dr. Ebenezer Markwei of Living Streams International, bringing you matters of faith with Graphic Online. I can always say Living Streams, we meet behind the Truth Fair. Just Google Living Streams International and your Google map will bring you straight to us. Behind Zenith College, we are not difficult to find. 6 on Wednesdays, 6:30 to 8 in the evenings, and then on Sunday mornings from 7 to 9, first service, and 10 to 12:30, second service. Right. Now I'm still in Genesis chapter 17, and where God asked Abraham, pick up a knife and cut everybody. And mark your sons from henceforth. Mark your sons with circumcision. You know, I know there are various theories and theologies and scientific things that sometimes men don't need circumcision. I agree with them. I'm not a medical doctor to examine the pros and cons of it, but there's something I know. You remember that when the people of Israel were crossing the Jordan, immediately they crossed the Jordan, one of the first things God said to them is pick a knife to Joshua. He said pick a knife and circumcise all the men. All the people who came out of Egypt died. Those who were born in the wilderness were never circumcised. And then God said to Joshua, pick a knife and circumcise them. And that was at Gilgal. He said circumcise them in Joshua. From Joshua chapter 2 to Joshua chapter 5, you see the story. God said, mark them. Cut them up. Well, what are you saying? I'm not saying anything new. Why would God ask them to remove the foreskins? Well, I've been told that normally men who don't have their foreskins of the male organ cut or removed, they have a possibility of retaining debris and dirt in the folds of that. And sometimes if they're not very careful, those things can become disease-bearing rubbish, disease-bearing dirt. Because the dirt accumulates in the folds, so they must really clean up. And those disease-bearing dirt that you see not only can infect them and hurt them, but they can also infect their partners. And so they are capable of carrying disease if they don't take to cleanliness properly. And they are capable of infecting others with it. So the circumcision, the removal of the foreskin, is that which removes the threat of death and the threat of cancer and the threat of infecting others with your rubbish. Now, Paul talks about circumcision. Our circumcision is not the circumcision made with hands, but our circumcision is the circumcision of the heart. That is, every father and every parent and everybody who works with God, you owe a responsibility to circumcise that, cut away the dross, cut away the dirt that can hurt your family, that can hurt your sons. That means bring the mark of a father upon them. Place it upon them. God says it. I'm not asking you to take a knife and go cut your sons if you've not done so. But I'm meaning, bring the sharp knife, bring the discipline, bring the thing that will straighten them up. Bring the thing that will remove them from harm's way and remove others from harm's way. Cut them off loose from that which can kill them. It's a responsibility of every father to do so. Oh, well, Paul advocated against circumcision. But if you remember, when Paul met Timothy, one of the things that Paul did was he placed the mark of a father upon him. Even though Timothy had sat under two different anointings, the anointings of Lois and the anointing of Lois and Eunice. Mark your generations after you and make sure that what you see with your children, you're raising up children who are going to walk in your footsteps. Well, the choices are always yours. See you later.